And I remember talking to somebody on his campaign in early June, and this was even before the debate debacle. And she was like, look, we think there's a really good chance that if you get picked, you're not going to be debating Kamala Harris. You're going to be debating whoever Kamala Harris chooses, because we don't think Joe Biden can survive. The poll numbers were just so bad. He's just so bad that they didn't think he would make it to November. And they were right, of course. It's kind of shocking when it happens, even when you expect it to happen. So I guess I expected it to happen, but I was still surprised when he actually pulled the trigger. He's the president of the United States. Think about this. He just sent a letter out one day and said, I'm not running for president anymore. That's never happened in the lifetime of any person in this room.
Former Chief of Staff Ron Klain sat down and spoke with Anderson Cooper. Now, this performance was laughable at best. Watching this guy sit here and talk about his departure like it was some passing the torch moment, and he wasn't told to step aside because, let's face it, he was forced to step aside or else he was going to get impeached. 25th Amendment, slip and fall, something. Anyway, let's take a look. I'm Buzz Brown, conservative. Let's go.
Tomorrow, President Biden and Vice President Harris will share a stage for the first time since he dropped out of the race more than 3 weeks ago. Joining me now is one of President Biden's longtime advisors, former White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, who helped him prepare for his first and only debate with Donald Trump. Mr. Klain, appreciate you being with us. You did not want President Biden to drop out. You've said he deserved a second term. Given what you've seen in the 3 weeks since he did with the Harris-Walz campaign, were you wrong, you think?
Well, I don't know if I was wrong or not, but the president made a decision to drop out, and I think he executed it extremely well. He handed the baton off clearly to Vice President Harris. One of my concerns was if he dropped out, there were some people in our party who wanted to have an open process, an ersatz process to pick a nominee. But I thought that if he was going to drop out, the one thing to do was to give the baton clearly to the vice president. She's prepared to be president uniquely among other Democrats and experienced in national campaigns. And the success she's had in these 3 weeks proves that he made the right choice to endorse her and to point the party towards her and to rally the party behind her. She's been a great candidate. She will be a great president. And I think there's been a lot of success these past 3 weeks on the campaign trail for her.
When the president...
Look at his eyes. Look at this man's eyes. He is looking down, reading something there. Ron Klain, are you reading something? Is this scripted? Is this a performance? Passing the torch down like some sort of grand, great moment. The man said we'll be back next week. That's literally what he said. He wasn't trying to step down. He was forced. Just because you read something off a teleprompter doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. You don't got to do what they tell you no matter what. I mean, what do they got against you? Maybe blackmail you about something? Anyway, this is what they do. This is what these liberals do when they come to President Joe Biden's aid, or now Kamala Harris. They pretend like she is great. She is it. She's the best thing we got. And we're going to lie to you, and we ain't going to fess up. That's literally what they do. That's how they roll. It's laughable. The performance is laughable.
dropped out, I think it was a tweet you sent out, you publicly blamed what you called donors and elected, saying that they, quote, pushed out the president. They pushed out Biden from the campaign. Is that really the case? I mean, after that debate, certainly there was huge dismay among Democratic voters, wasn't there? And certainly just this latest, poll that we just talked about at the top of the program, in terms of enthusiasm, it's at, 85% or something right now, as opposed to 46% in June.
Well, I agree. Enthusiasm is up. There's a lot of rallying around the vice president. I'm so glad to see it. It's hard-earned and well-deserved for her. But I do think, the president was pushed by public public calls from elected officials for him to drop out, from donors calling him to drop out. And I think that was wrong. I think he made the decision ultimately, and he made the right decision to say, if I'm going to leave the race, I think the vice president should take over. And
why was it wrong, though, for them to do that? Why was it wrong for donors to raise objections to, other elected officials?
I think that, not wrong like immoral, but I think it was unfortunate, because I think that the president had won the nomination fair and square. 14 million people went and voted for him and the vice president's vice president. But again, that's all in the past, Anderson. He decided to drop out. He decided to endorse the vice president. Her campaign is going well. We have a better chance than ever to defeat Donald Trump this fall and to elect a experienced, talented, intelligent president to lead the country for the next 4 years.
Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who obviously played a key role in convincing and pressuring President Biden to step aside, has said that she hasn't spoken to the president since he dropped out and that she loses sleep over the fate of their friendship. She's also been quite blunt, telling David Remnick of the New Yorker, quote, "I've never been that impressed with his political operation. They won the White House, bravo. But my concern was this ain't happening and we have to make a decision for this to happen. They were not facing the fact of what was happening," end quote. I'm wondering how you respond to that criticism and if you take.
What was happening? Obvious cognitive decline. That's exactly what was happening. They know exactly why they needed him to step down. It's not like some secret. You know, I mean, you got old man. He's the president. He won by 80 million votes somehow. Oh, it's kind of strange. The most popular president in history over the past that we've been a country, 81 million votes. Crazy. Because I remember in 2020, all I could see is nothing but Trump flags, MAGA this, I'm voting for Trump. Everywhere. Everywhere. It wasn't even a question if Trump was going to lose. Then also like, whoa, Joe won. Holy crap. Can't believe it. So you know we got to go to the comments here because some people had a lot to say. Biden should just enjoy his long overdue retirement with his family. Yeah, he pretty much did that during his campaign anyway. He was always in vacation. Ron Klain prepared the worst performance in debate ever, says Biden had a chance. Due denial ain't a river in Egypt. I know it's the Nile. Ronnie should be banned from politics for life. He was a major player in the slow rolling shit show major fail. CNN, look, we found one guy who thinks Biden shouldn't have dropped out. Watch our content. Guy's delusional. And he goes on and on and on. These people are the voters. These are the people that give you their thoughts. They post it on your stuff on your channel, CNN. Listen to them. Don't have these guys who will say and do anything come up here. We need people that will push back on you instead of people going along to get along. The guy still have his eyeballs looking down. He's still looking down, and Anderson's still looking up. Like, yeah, you better read that script, Ron, or else you know we got coming for you. Speaking of people pressuring Joe, here's NPR. More Democrats asked Biden to drop out. His campaign says he'll be back next week. Hey, Joe, you need to drop out. Hey, no, we'll be back next week. What is this, a sitcom? These Democrats called out Joe Biden to drop out of the 2024 race before his announcement. So these are the people who telling this man he needs to drop out. Senator Joe Manchin, in an interview on ABC this week on July 21st, Joe Manchin called for Biden to leave his presidential race and, quote, pass the torch to the new generation. Kamala Harris, huh? Mark Takano, the California congressman, released a long statement on his X page on July 20th, calling on Biden to pass the torch. Familiar phrase, pass the torch, huh? Senator Sharon Brown, who is in a tie election in Ohio, released a statement on July 19th, calling on Biden to bow out. Gabe Velasquez, Morgan McGarvey, Betty, Kathy, Zoe, and it keeps going, more and more and more, never ending. It's probably, look, there's Adam Schiff out there. Adam Schiff, even Adam Schiff did it. Probably everyone on the left, all these senators, they all, hey, what are we doing next? What are we doing next, Obama, Barack, boss? Seriously, because all these people come out of the woodworks and say the same thing. Let's pass the torch. Let's get the new generation in here. Forget Joe. He's done. He's old and washed up now. He can't even read the teleprompter like we prepared for him. Forget him. Let's put in Kamala, and oh, she needs to play on their black side. Let's forget about the Indian side, right? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Buzz Brown Conservative. Peace.